My name is Ruth Sanchez. I'm a mother, a wife, and I'm an organizer, activist in the Antelope Valley. For the past 15 years, I've been engaging in my community. We've been having a lot of issues with our law enforcement for many, many years. I'm highly disappointed because I supported Alex Villanueva. I was actually champion for him, to make sure that he won, because we needed him because of all the promises he made. He failed us. He broke every single promises. We did an investigation for about 2 years, finding complaints, and we have about 54 complaints.
My name is Juanette Colors. I have been in the Antelope Valley for 25 years. I am a Master Gardener, USDA farmer. I am a Board of Trustee for the Keppel School District and a Councilwoman for Little Rock Town. Our concerns have been neglected. They have not been addressed.
My name is Lynn Lyman. I am a justice consultant and I'm the board chair for Reform LA Jails. Despite providing the county with subpoena power under Measure R, Sheriff Alex Villanueva has fought those subpoena orders in court every step of the way. He thinks he's above the law. The sheriff is over policing in much of the county, and particularly in certain cities in the county that don't have their own police departments, the sheriff provides policing services there. And up in the Antelope Valley in northern LA County, those two cities, Palmdale and Lancaster, and what we've seen there is unconstitutional, racist, and violent policing. Sheriff deputies killed 17 people last year, shot twice as many. 2 of them were teenagers, young men, shot in the back multiple times. One of them was an elder in the Antelope Valley, Michael Thomas, who was shot in his home. Mere seconds from the time the deputies entered, he was dead, lying in a pool of his own blood. No one rendered aid. When his girlfriend and a relative showed up to try to help, the deputies turned their guns on them.
These are real complaints that I have taken to the city. I have taken to both captains of the sheriff department, and nothing has been done. We always get that, we'll look into it, we'll look into it. Well, you know what? It's almost 3 years later. I have never been called and say, let's talk about it. We're tired of all the abuse from the law enforcement.
My name is Danielle Sivalangam. I work at Perkins Coie, and I represent the concerned citizens filing the citizen complaint. The people's complaint is an outline of and an overview of all of the sheriff's wrongdoing in office during his entire tenure in office. And we have to remember that he came and he was elected promising reform, promising that he would protect Los Angelinos and in particular communities of color. But he's done the exact opposite. Those have been the target of his department.
So they have been traumatizing people that have been victims to the police. We have people in our community that have lost loved ones. The police come and sit in front of their house. They shine lights in front of their house. They do figure eights. They harass them. One particular lady, they've had their car impounded 7 times and they lost their son-in-law. He was killed by law enforcement in Palmdale. This is the type of things that's ongoing.
The Department of Justice has had a settlement agreement now for over 6 years with monitors on the ground in the Antelope Valley, trying to stop the racist and violent policing. And yet still 6 years later, we're seeing that conditions are worse in that community. The deputies continue to murder residents with impunity. Use of force is up. The use of stops and searches and seizures is out of control. Essentially, those communities are being held hostage by the sheriff through their policing contracts. So we knew at Reform LA Jails that more was needed, that we've seen how despite the overwhelming victory at the ballot box with Measure R, the sheriff continued to refuse the subpoena orders, to investigate those who were charged with overseeing him, to harass his political enemies, to harass journalists, intimidate protesters, the oversight commissioners. So we knew more needed to be done, and the question was what? Where do we start? The beauty of Government Code Section 3060 is that we realized that we could do it all. We could address the entire breadth of the sheriff's misconduct over the past 3 years.
When the government fails, that's when the people in the community take accountability and be responsible. And that's why we're voicing our concerns. That's why we're becoming a claimant in a lawsuit, because we have to step up. We have to give our voices, and we have to say when justice is not being done.
As citizens of LA County, we accuse the sheriff of corrupt and willful misconduct in office. We are submitting this complaint here today at the LA Superior Court, calling for the removal of Sheriff Alex Villanueva under Government Code Section 3060.